What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Wednesday edition. It is August 13th. We're back. So it's a weird Wednesday slate. We've got like some early, we've got some in the afternoon, and then we've got our main slate at the normal time. So we're still going to cover it. So if you've never been here before, we try to do things a little bit differently. So we go through game by game. We're going to look at the pitchers, and we're going to look at our favorite batters from each team. So certain batters we will like, and then certain teams we're going to like to stack. So we'll have a little bit more of the batters we like in those games. So we're going to cover all of that. We've already done 10,000 simulations in the background. We do 20,000 total before the main slate locks. And this is your first look for today's slate through 10,000 sims. So after we go through every game, we're going to do a couple of other segments, which you guys will find down below. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the games, and then we're going to do our matchup tool. So we're going to give you all the batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 simulations. After that, we're going to do our pitches be crazy segment. So we look at the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most, and then the pitchers going up against them, and we'll give you some of those statistics as well. And then at the very end, we're going to do our sports betting segment called Makin Bacon, where we go through which players we are going to target for sports betting, whether or not it's a home run, a hit, an RBI, bases, whatever it is, we will look into them as well. We also try to have giveaways every single day. We try to have 2 giveaways, and here's how you can win, completely free. You gotta like this video, you gotta be a subscriber to the channel, and you gotta leave a comment. You do all 3 of those, and this video right here gets a minimum of 50 likes. You'll have a shot at a free week of FTA+. Now, that is a week of all sports. So current sports, we've got MLB every day, we've got PGA on Thursdays, we've got MMA on Saturdays, and we've got NASCAR on Sundays. If this video gets a minimum of 100 likes, you'll have a chance at a free month, 150 likes, a free year, 200 or more likes on this video, a chance at a $500 lifetime pass. And the second way to win, somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Look for it, type it in, and have your second shot at a possible free week. So we are going to see who the winner or 2 winners are from yesterday. Even if the keyword is in this first one, we're still going to re-roll it for the keyword. So this is just for the likes. So there you go. T. Taylor 1412, congratulations. I think you won last week. I believe so. You know the drill. Please email me, and in the subject line, hit us up with you're the 812 video likes winner, and then let me know your username on FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So the keyword or key phrase was tea or green tea. It was tea. It was some sort of tea yesterday. So we are still going to re-roll this. So you still have a chance to win again, but we're still going to re-roll it just for the keyword. And the keyword winner is Steve Weilers. Congratulations. Yet again, that's as easy as it is. So if you guys come back every single day, you leave a comment every day, you could potentially win every single day as well. So check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Under the MLB tab, we have a ton of information there, and we update everything every morning, and then we have a cheat sheet, and we have optimal lineups on the cheat sheet as well. So that being said, it is a weird slate. We're going to look at some of the ballpark factors. Same thing, Sutter Health Park, the ball's flying out of there, the wind, it's hot and humid. Great American Ballpark, Philly at Cincy. We've got Yankee Stadium, 26% chance of home runs. We've got Progressive Field, Miami at Cleveland with positive 25% chance of home runs. We've got American Family Field, 23%, and Angel Stadium, LA Dodgers at the Angels. We have 18% chance of home runs, the ball fly out of there. So we're looking at this, an early slate. So we've got this early slate going, and that's exactly what we're going to cover. So we're going to look at the pitchers, we're going to look at the batters, we are going to look at everything in this game right now. So Detroit and the White Sox, usually it's the White Sox who we don't know who's going to pitch. It has not been confirmed yet that it is Kiter Montero, but they've mentioned it in the past. It should be his. If he gets called back up, they believe it's going to be him. Not 100% sure, so it's kind of hard to go into this one feeling great about it. If it is him, honestly, I don't really like him either, even against the White Sox. And then you got Shane Smith. So Shane Smith against the Tigers in his career, 17 plate appearances, 29.4 K percentage, so a start. You look at his splits, he's faced them once this year, had 25 fantasy points. So on DraftKings, we're looking for between 20 to 30 fantasy points, and hit right in the middle with 25. Him being 7,000, he's a cheaper option because everyone's going to be on Detroit. Now, obviously, Detroit is a really good hitting team this year. I could see you going Shane Smith in tournaments. You do see him pitching at home. He still has a 4.25 ERA. So if you want to get a little crazy just because he has had success against them this year, I'm okay with that. I'm cautious on him. I think I'd still rather go Detroit bats in this game. I would be looking at Riley Green. I would be looking at Kerry Carpenter. The only thing about Kerry is they pull him out. They pinch hit for him quite a bit. So definitely pay attention to that. But I like those two. I like Spencer Torkelson. I like Glaber. And then depending if he's in there, it is Wednesday. Dylan Dingler for your catcher is kind of where I'd go in this one. I'm not really looking at White Sox bats. I mean, it's Benintendi, it's Lennon Sosa, it's Luis Robert, Mike Tauchman a little bit. That's basically what I would look at in this game. We have 5 games on the slate. We can do without the pitching in that game and feel pretty comfortable with that. So we move to the Pirates at the Brewers. You've got Mitch Keller versus Brandon Woodruff. Love me some Woodruff here. In his career against the Pirates, 80 plate appearances, 35K percentage, 153 batting average, only walking 8.8%. Then you got Mitch Keller, 88 plate appearances, 346 batting average against the Brewers. That's kind of what I'm a little bit scared of. I don't think I want to use Mitch Keller. I'd rather focus. I love Brandon Woodruff here. You see he's had one bad game against Miami. And we look at his numbers at home, 3.12 ERA, so a little bit worse at home. But you look at that in that game, he gave up basically 2 earned runs. 2 earned runs is what we're looking at there, is the most amount that he's given up. So I would look at Brandon Woodruff, and then I would be looking at stacking the Brewers. Now, the ones I'm obviously looking at, Christian Yelich at the top, William Contreras, Andrew Vaughn, and probably Bryce Terang. And if you want a 5th one for a full Milwaukee stack against Mitch Keller, which I absolutely love, I'm probably going to go a little bit lower in either Blake Perkins or Isaac Collins. It really just depends if either of those guys are going to be in this lineup. I'm not 100% sure if they will be, but it is definitely one that I would look at. If you want to go against Brandon Woodruff because you think he's going to have a bad game for whatever reason, I'm probably not going to do that. But Pirates bats we could be looking at. O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds are my top 2. Spencer Horwitz is going to be in there. And probably Tommy Pham and McCutchen if you want to go a full stack. But this game right here, Pirates, the Brewers, I'm going Brandon Woodruff, and I'm going the Brewers as a stack. Don't overthink this one. It's a great spot. Now, I'll admit, I can be wrong. I've been wrong in the past. I think that's probably what differentiates us from other DFS providers. I will admit when I'm wrong. But the way I'm going in that one, Brandon Woodruff in a Brewer stack, I really love here. So the third game on this early slate, we've got the Nationals at the Royals. It is a pitcher's ballpark. We've got Jake Irvin versus Seth Lugo. Irvin, 24 plate appearances, .087 batting average against him from the current Royals roster. And then Lugo against Washington, 41 plate appearances, 26.8K percentage, and a .225 batting. So we look at Lugo here. His ERA is climbing. He's coming off a very bad start against a Minnesota team that traded away 11 guys. He has not faced Washington this year. When he pitches at home, he does have a .269 ERA. I don't know if I trust him. At 8,500, he's not even averaging 20 fantasy points a game. That does scare me a little bit. And then Jake Irvin's been one of those. He's very up and down. He comes in with a .490 ERA. Single digits here, negative. Not good, but not bad. Negative. It's been up and down. He has not faced Kansas City this year. When he pitches on the road, is a .506 ERA. So I'm probably avoiding, I'm avoiding the pitching in this, and I'm going the bats on both sides. I love a double stack here. So if I'm looking at Washington bats against Lugo, I'm probably looking at James Wood. I'm looking at Luis Garcia. I'll get a little bit of Josh Bell in there, be a cheaper option. I'm probably going Nate Lowe as well. Now, again, I think this is the Major League Baseball's biggest outfield. So it is a very nice pitcher's park, but I want to take some of those big bats. CJ Abrams is another one that I would take for Washington. Then if we look at Kansas City bats against Irvin, they haven't had a ton of success against him, but if I were to look at him, I'm looking at Bobby Witt Jr. at the top. Sal Perez has kind of been coming on strong lately. Michael Garcia, I'm looking at Vinny Pasquantino, and I really like Mike Yastrzemski here as well. I would look at them. I'm looking to stack both sides. I'm not looking for pitching in this one. I know on DraftKings you need 2 pitchers, but Brandon Woodruff is my number 1 there, and that's kind of where I'd go just for now in this game while we break stuff down. So then Colorado at St. Louis is next. You got Austin Gomber versus Michael McGreevy. We did not take McGreevy in his last start, which I think probably was a mistake against the Cubs, put up 19.3. You can see, though, he has had some good games, like against the Mets, a good game. White Sox in the middle. Colorado, he has faced him once, but got 15.5. So he's seen him once already. For his price of 6K, I don't mind that. Obviously, we want to see 20 plus. You look at him when he pitches at home, he's got a worse ERA though. So that does scare me. But I will have a little bit of exposure to Michael McGreevy here. Probably tournament only, not doing cash. And then you got Gomber. Really hasn't done anything. He's got his one good start under his belt, and that was June 15th. Outside of that, he's got a 6.52 ERA. He's already faced St. Louis once this year, 5.2 innings, 5 earned runs. I think that's pretty much what I would expect. When he pitches on the road, it is better because it's not in Coors, but it's still almost 6. So that, yeah, I'm looking at bats on both sides. I think I like St. Louis a little bit more. St. Louis bats, I would look at Alec Burleson if he's in there, Brendan Donovan if he's in there, Wilson Contreras, Ivan Herrera, and probably Jordan Walker. Colorado, if you're not going to go with McGreevy, I'm looking at Hunter Goodman at the top. I'm looking at Mickey Moniak, Tyler Freeman for my top 3. Britton Doyle and Ezekiel Tovar if you're looking for a full Colorado stack there. Then Arizona at Texas is the next game. So in this matchup, we've got Merrill Kelly and we've got Zach Gallen. Now I'll admit I was wrong on Zach Gallen last time. I didn't want anything to do with him. He put up 23.3 against Arizona or against Colorado. 5.31 ERA is high. He's not looked himself. That was his best game in over a month. The other one was against San Francisco, and then he had a good game against Atlanta. He has not faced Texas this year. In his career, he has faced him a ton, 128 plate appearances, 222. He's only averaging 13.7 this season. It's not, I don't know what's going on with him. Doesn't look like himself. When he pitches on the road, he does have a 5.05 ERA. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. The other side of this is Merrill Kelly. Now, Merrill Kelly obviously was with the Diamondbacks. He just got traded a couple weeks ago, going up against his former team. I always give the advantage to the former team because they know this pitcher. They know what he likes to throw. They know when he likes to throw it. They know everything about him. So that should be able to game plan against him. And I look at that, and yeah, I mean, we're looking at Merrill Kelly here. He's pitching at home, but is technically away because, he just got traded. I don't like him in this situation. I would rather look at the bats. I do want to give an advantage to Arizona bats because, again, they know what he likes to pitch. So if we go in with that mindset, I'm looking at Corbin Carroll. I'm looking at Ketel Marte. I'm looking at probably a cheaper option would be Adrian Del Castillo for your catcher, Blaze Alexander, probably Geraldo Perdomo as well. I don't know which Zach Gallen we're going to get. So let's say he gets lit up. Who do we want for Texas? Corey Seager's at the top. Adolis Garcia's there. Wyatt Langford. Rowdy Tellez. Marcus Simeon or Josh Young, just depending on who's in there. I don't mind them, but I really like Arizona against Merrill Kelly because they know what he likes to throw. He was just with them. I will die on this hill. Now, he may have a great game. We'll see. But everything tells me Arizona against him because exactly what I just said. They know what he likes to throw and when he likes to throw. So that's your early slate done. Now, we have a afternoon slate that's not on here, so we are going to cover it, and we'll talk about that. So in the afternoon slate, we got the Padres at the Giants. We've got Nick Pivetta versus to be announced. This is pretty much what we're going to see the entire time. San Francisco has so many injuries. We don't know who's going to be starting on any given day. It has not been confirmed who's going to be starting yet, so we can't really go over it. San Diego, Nick Pivetta. I would take Nick Pivetta. It is in San Francisco. It is a massive ballpark. We like to see massive ballparks here. So we can't really go off of, I'm going to go Nick Pivetta. I'm not going any San Francisco bats right now. And we don't really know who to go off Padres. But if San Francisco throws out a righty, Padres that hit righties well, Tatis, Jackson Merrill, Manny Machado, Luis Ariz, would be probably my top 4 that I look at. And you can always look at Ryan O'Hearn or Ramon Laureano, depending if he's in there, as a stack. So I'm assuming it could even be a bullpen day for San Francisco, where it's just going to be up and down for the bullpen. So I would give the advantage to Nick Pivetta, and I would give the advantage to the Padres as a stack here. Next game, we have the Phillies at the Reds. You got Christopher Sanchez versus Hunter Green. Sanchez, 29 plate appearances, a 370 batting average. The ballpark scares me because, again, the ball flies out of here. It's a very tiny ballpark for hitters. And then Hunter Green's coming in, 54 plate appearances, a 298 batting average, 259 or 25.9 K percentage. I give the slight advantage to Christopher Sanchez. I don't mind him, but the ballpark scares me. So if I am stacking on both sides, which is easily you could do, I would be looking at Philly a little bit more, just kind of like what we did the other night, but at Schwarber. I would look at Bryce Harper. I would look at Brandon Marsh, Max Kepler, and probably Trey Turner in this situation. If you don't trust Christopher Sanchez and you want to go with Cincinnati bats here because they're at home, Brian Hayes, Ellie De La Cruz, top 2. Tyler Stevenson would be 3. If Stevenson is out, Trevino is hitting lefties well this year. I would look at him. And then being a lefty for the Reds, Miguel Andujar, if he is in fact in here, I don't mind Andujar either. I don't know if he's going to get the start, though. But those would be the ones that I'd look at. I do give the advantage to the Philly bats first. But then Cincy, if you want to go against Christopher Sanchez, I do not mind a sneaky little Cincy stack as well. So the next game, you got Mariners at the Orioles. You got Logan Gilbert versus Trevor Rogers. Seattle strikes out the 4th most out of any team. I think Trevor Rogers today is a sneaky pick. I like the sneaky pick here. Might be a little bit out there, but tournament maybe, but I don't mind it against Seattle because Seattle is striking out 8.92 times a game and 8.81 on the road. And then you got Logan Gilbert, who's been absolutely shoving this year. 30 plate appearances against the Orioles in his career, 33.3. So that's what? 2 starts basically, 185 batting average. I would be looking at Logan Gilbert for cash and tournaments. I am not looking at the bats in this one. I'm strictly looking at pitching, but if you are to look at some of these bats, obviously Eugenio Suarez, I would look at a little bit of JP Crawford for sure. I would look at Cal Raleigh against a lefty. Baltimore against Logan Gilbert, it depends. Gunnar Henderson a little bit, maybe Colton Cowser a little bit. I really don't like the bats in this one. It's kind of hard for me to like pinpoint down a Baltimore guy outside of that. If you want to get creative, you could always go Adley, obviously, but you could go Jeremiah Jackson would be a cheaper option. Maybe Ryan Mountcastle would be another one that I'd look at in this one. Another game, Miami Marlins at the Guardians. You got Yuri Perez versus Gavin Williams. Williams has never faced the Marlins before. Yuri Perez has only faced 5 batters for Cleveland, and he's struck out 60% of those batters. I would go Yuri Perez. I don't think I like Gavin Williams here. Maybe cheap option, but I kind of like Yuri Perez, and I kind of like Miami as a stack. I think it'll be an under-owned stack on this afternoon slate. Before I'm looking at them, I'm looking at Kyle Stowers against him, Augustin Ramirez, probably Xavier Edwards, and Otto Lopez. If you go to a different direction and you don't think Yuri Perez is going to have a good game, Manzardo, Jose Ramirez, Daniel Schneemann, maybe a little bit of David Fry. I think he'll go under own, and possibly Carlos Santana to go a little bit cheaper there. That's kind of what I would look at and not fret it too much. But I'm giving Miami as a stack a little bit better. Then we get to the main slate. We've got a 6-game main slate. There is some weather concern here, some rain. We've got Minnesota at the Yankees. We have Joe Ryan versus Cam Schlittler. So Schlittler hasn't really done much. Comes into this game with a 4.38 ERA. He's hit value once. Now it was July 9th on his first start against Seattle. He's going 5 innings. But he's not giving up many runs, but he's not striking out a ton. And when he is, he's walking some. So he's not getting the fantasy points we need. Now, Minnesota is a team where, obviously, Will Warren was able to hold them down pretty handedly on Monday. And then Byron Buxton is back. So we'll look at that side. But then you've got Joe Ryan. So, and I don't even know if the weather's going to cooperate here. But Joe Ryan comes in very surprised he did not get traded. 279 batting average or ERA against him, coming off 20.25 against Kansas City. In his career against the Yankees, 50 plate appearances, 239 batting average, but he has struck out 38% of those batters. So we look at them, a great matchup there. Looking at that, the way the Yankees offense has struggled, Joe Ryan makes sense as well. I think Ryan is more cash and tournament. He is averaging 20.5, but he is 9,600. Schlittler for tournament, I'm okay with, but I don't know if I trust that at all, just because he has not hit value all but one time. So I feel more comfortable with Joe Ryan. So if we're looking on both sides, though, against Schlittler, Byron Buxton, I would look at him. I would look at Trevor Larnach. I don't know if he'll be Cody Clemens, be a cheaper option. Ryan Jeffers could be cheaper, and Luke Keeschel if you wanted to go a full Minnesota stack there. And then if you think Joe Ryan's going to have a bad game and you want to use some Yankees bats, like I want to say Aaron Judge, but I don't think he's 100% healthy. But he's always got to be in there, at least think about it. But I would go Stanton. I would go Ben Rice. I would go Trent Grisham, my top three. I'd go Bellinger. I'm probably going Jazz. Now, Judge could have 2 home runs this game. He's very expensive, and he has not hit value pretty much since he's been back. So if we look at him, he's 6,500. He's hit double digit here. He had 11. And that was basically it. So not much going on. No extra base hits. 2 RBIs since coming back. 2 walks there when he got the 11 fantasy points. That is it. Scares me a little bit, but I don't think I want to pay 6,500. If I'm paying up in this game, it's probably Buxton at 5,500 or Bellinger at 5,300, just to feel a little bit different. Cubs at Toronto is next. We've got Cade Horton versus Kevin Gossman. Horton's only faced 2 Toronto bats, so really haven't seen anything. Gossman against the Cubs, 98 plate appearances, a 302 batting. Gossman's expensive, and he's not even averaging 18 fantasy points a game. So that kind of does scare me a little bit. But he's coming off a fantastic start in Coors, but Colorado's a bad team. He did have 30 against New York Yankees. He had 32 against Detroit. So he's had really good numbers against good teams this year. And the Cubs are a good hitting team. Gossman in his, when he pitches at home this year, he's got a 426. So he has been worse at home. I don't know if I want to pay 8,800 for that. Then you got Cade Horton coming off a really good game against Cincy. So against Baltimore, really good game against the White Sox. We look at his splits. When he pitches on the road, he does have a 5.71, which is not ideal. If I were to take one, it would be Gossman. But honestly, I think I'm looking at bats in this game more so than not. I think Toronto, they are a great hitting team. I would take Toronto against Cade Horton. I would look at Vladdy. I would look at Bo Bichette. I would look at Addison Barger. I would look at Alejandro Kirk. And I'm probably looking at, if we're going for a 5th one to stack, Ernie Clement would be one. I think it'd be a little bit cheaper option there. If you don't want to go Gossman, you want to go the Cubs bats, Suzuki, Michael Busch, Kyle Tucker, PCA, and Dansby Swanson is what I would go with for my top bats in that game. I think I like this over-under in the game a little bit more than I like the pitching. I think that's probably where I go in this situation. Atlanta at the Mets is the next game. We do have rain concern here. Hopefully it holds off and goes after the game. One can hope. In that game here, Carlos Carrasco versus David Peterson. Now, Carrasco make his second start here. We stacked Miami against him because why wouldn't you? We've stacked twice now, and it worked out pretty much like last time Miami stack went off for us. The Mets against him, 25 plate appearance, 174. I do not trust that. I know the Mets have struggled. I do not trust that whatsoever. I want nothing to do with Carlos Carrasco. And then you got David Peterson. 8,500, really has not hit value since July 10th, so basically over a month. Up and down. He's faced Atlanta once this year, went 7 innings, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 11 fantasy points was not enough. I think I'm looking at the bats in this one. I'm not looking at the pitching. That's kind of where I want to go here. Braves bats against David Peterson that I would look at. I love Matt Olson against a lefty here. Marcell Ozuna. I would look at Drake Baldwin if he gets the start behind the dish. or Sean Murphy. I don't mind him. It depends on the catcher that's there. And then probably Ozzie Albies. Mets against Carrasco, just pretty much every single person. Pete Alonso, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, probably Mark Vientos is what I would go there. Just a full stack against Carrasco. I do not think you can go wrong. I could be wrong, but I am all in on a Mets stack. Hopefully the weather holds off, though. I'm avoiding the pitching for now. Through 10,000 sims, none of them popped for me. So yeah, I would definitely be stacking both sides, but I like the Mets as a stack a little bit. So in the next game, we've got Boston at Houston. We got Hunter Brown versus Walker Buehler. Now, Walker Buehler in his career, 80 plate appearances, 284. Hunter Brown, 42 plate appearances, 222. Now, Walker Buehler has struggled this year. He's got a 5.40 ERA. He did pretty good against San Diego. But you can see he just faced Houston not his 2 starts ago, minus 3.45. It's kind of what I would expect in this one, too. We look at his splits when he pitches on the road. He does have a 6.52, so I am stacking Houston there. Not even blinking an eye on it. And then you got Hunter Brown. He just faced Boston 2 starts ago, 22.15 as well. I would go Hunter Brown and Houston as a stack. Houston bats, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, Christian Walker, Jesus Sanchez, and I'm probably going Jeremy Pena as well for this. If you think Hunter Brown's going to struggle, which I don't, you could go maybe Trevor Story, maybe Alex Bregman, maybe Jarren Duran, but I'm going Hunter Brown, and I'm going Houston as a stack. Then the 2 LA teams, Ohtani versus Hendricks. Ohtani, are you getting points for pitching now? No, you're not getting points for pitching. So this might be more so DFS or sports betting wise, but the Angels strike out the most out of any team, 9.71 times per game. It just depends on how deep Ohtani's going to go into this game pitching. But I would take Ohtani, and then I would take the Dodgers bat. So I would be looking at Ohtani. You can't take him for pitcher, but take him for hitter. Him, Freeman, Mookie Betts. I would look at those 3 right there. A couple more, probably looking at, and it all depends if they're in there. Oscar Hernandez, Andy Pages would be another one that I would look at as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm not looking at the Angels bats right now. I'm not really looking. You can't use Ohtani for pitching anyway. So that's where I would go in this game. And then the final game, the wind is blowing out just like before. You got Rasmussen versus JT Ginn. So Rasmussen, decent. Couple of last starts here. One against Seattle, one against the Dodgers, which is crazy. He's already faced Athletics once this year, minus 0.8. That's kind of what I think. I don't like this ballpark. I would rather focus on the bats and on both teams than I would on the pitching, just because of what the weather, this minor league ballpark. So if I'm looking at Tampa Bay bats against them, I'm looking at Yandy Diaz. I'm looking at Junior Caminero. I'm looking at Brandon Lau. I'm looking at Josh Lowe. A sneaky one, I think, Chandler Simpson's got speed, but Jake Mangum might be in there as well, depending. And then the Athletics against Drew Rasmussen, I would look at Nick Kurtz. I would look at Brent Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom, Shea Langoliers, probably Lawrence Butler, if you were to go a full stack here. I just do not trust the pitching in this. I would rather go the bats 100%. And there you have it. That is the early slate, the afternoon slate, and the main slates all done. Hopefully good for you. If you need a little bit more help, you can always go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Come anywhere on here. Any of these tabs are going to help you out. Hopefully will help you out there. So now we're going to do our matchup tool. So this is all the batters that have 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 sims right now. Number 1 is Bobby Witt Jr. Number 2 is Corey Seager. 3 is Vinny Pasquantino. 4 is Wilson Contreras. 5 is Jose Altuve. 6 is Sal Perez. 7 is Josh Bell. 8 is Juan Soto. 9 is Pete Alonso. 10 is Vladdy. 11 is Lindor. 12 is Carlos Correa. 13 is Jesus Sanchez. 14 is Alec Burleson. 15 is Ezequiel Tovar. Followed by Jurickson Profar, Christian Walker, Geraldo Perdomo, and finally Jeff McNeil. Now, the record is 38. Again, if you've been with us, I don't think we're ever going to beat that again. We didn't even come close to this one. This is through 10,000 sims, though. So we will update this usually about an hour or so before lineups lock to 20,000 sims to see if anything has changed since then. So make sure you definitely check that out as well. Our Pitches Be Crazy segment, I've already talked about it at the beginning, but what that is the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most. So this probably for sports betting, but Ohtani at the Angels strike out 9.71 times per game, 9.62 at home. Number 2 is Michael McGreevy versus the Rockies strike out 9.45 times per game, 9.82 on the road. Number 3 is Hunter Brown versus Boston strikes out 8.94 times per game, 10.17 on the road. Number 4 is Trevor Rogers versus Seattle strikes out 8.92 times per game, 8.81 on the road. And finally is Shane Smith versus Detroit strikes out 8.83 times per game, 9.07 on the road. So you can't use Ohtani, I don't believe, for DFS, but for sports betting you could. If he could get you 4 to 5 innings, I think he could get you 5+ strikeouts against a team that strikes out the most. And I honestly don't mind any of these guys today. It's kind of crazy. Usually there's 1 or 2 that I'm not so sure on. Right now, it looks pretty good to me. So that's your Pitches Be Crazy. And then we're going to do our final segment, Make and Bake. So these are sports bets that you can use, and we can target some of these. I would say probably don't parlay all of them together, but you can parlay some of them. Number 1 is Bobby Witt Jr. 2 is Sal Perez. 3 is Vinny Pasquantino. 4, I've got Ohtani against Hendricks. 5 is Corey Seager. 6 is Wilson Contreras. 7 is Ezequiel Tovar. 8 is Josh Bell. 9 is Hunter Goodman. 10, Vladdy. 11, Alec Burleson. 12 is Lindor. 13 is Pete Alonso. And 14 is Bo Bichette. And 15 is Jeremy Payne. So those are some you can target, whether or not it's 1+ hit, 2+ bases. They all have great odds. They are in great matchups. The ballpark factors are there. The wind is blowing out. It's hot. It's humid. That's what I would look out for some of them. And then if you're looking to take some pitchers' strikeout rates, Brandon Woodruff against the Pirates, I would look at 6+ strikeouts. Hunter Green against Philly, I would look at 5 to 6+ strikeouts, maybe even go up to 7. Joe Ryan against the Yankees, 6+ to 7+. The Yankees love to strike out. Logan Gilbert against the Orioles, 6+ strikeouts I would look at. Trevor Rogers against Seattle, 5 to 6 strikeouts. And then a final one I would target, Hunter Brown against the Red Sox, 6 to 7 strikeouts is what I would look at there. So that's what I've got in this video. Keyword of the day is Stanley, for the Stanley Cup. This is a Stanley Cup. It's not the Stanley Cup. You guys understand. But yeah, if you have any questions, get those down below. Everything is in the description of this video. We have a DraftKings Fantasy Football Weekly League that you guys can join in on. It's $5 for a week. It's going to be top 3 places pay every week. After that, at the end of the year, the more you play, the more points you accrue. The top 3 places that have the most points, first place will win a free lifetime pass, which is a $500 value. Second place is a yearly pass, which is a $200 value. And third place is a monthly pass, which is a $30 value. If you have any questions about that, you definitely can. I've also mentioned multiple times in different videos, but I will be out of town Friday, Saturday, Sunday.